Good day. Positive thinking is excellent, but here is something even better. Today, I will talk about how positive thinking is not wrong for you. It's simply not as effective as something else that I will show you. The very term positive thinking implies that there is something negative and you're overcoming it. It's like putting all your weight on one side of a teeter-totter. It doesn't work very well. Imagine a mouse in a maze. If it had to sit down and recharge itself every time it ran into a dead end, if it had to think that the dark days will turn into light when it finds the cheese, if the bad thing of dead end becomes good things of greater knowledge of maze paths, it's obvious that the mouse strategy of getting on with it is superior to positive thinking. Go back about a dozen years. IBM had a computer, Deep Blue, actually Deeper Blue, which was playing Garry Kasparov in chess. At that time, Kasparov was the world chess champion and arguably the greatest chess player who ever lived. When players confronted Kasparov across the table, they were intimidated. Deep Blue was not intimidated. If it made an error, it picked itself up and made the best possible move the next time and the next and the next. In fact, Kasparov's inability to intimidate Deep Blue intimidated him, and eventually he lost. So the strongest chess player in the world, then and ever since, has been a computer. So here is an exercise for you, and this builds upon what we covered already earlier about good thing, bad thing, who knows, and not putting a label on any event in your life. When you don't put a bad thing label on something that happens to you, then you don't need to have positive thinking to offset that. Here's what you do instead. Something happens which you're tempted to label as a bad thing. The moment you label it a bad thing, you start going into a downward spiral. Stop. Don't label it a bad thing. Don't label it anything. Just say, this is what happened. And then, and this is the crux, focus all of your attention, all of your emotional energy on what do I now have to do. Whenever you're confronted with adversity, recognize it, acknowledge it, and then cease thinking about it. Instead, think ruthlessly, meticulously. Think, what do I now have to do? What will get me out of the situation that I am in? And that is where you pour your emotional energy. If you do that, you'll find that you don't have to indulge in positive thinking.